Hey y'all, Serena Starlight Witch here. I hope everyone's doing well. So this is a video I have been meaning to make, but I keep forgetting. I have a lot of videos I need to make, but it's just about finding the right time because I don't have a lot of time. Um, Go check out my YouTube because I'm posting longer videos on there, like witchcraft, educational videos, tarot readings, that sort of thing. I am offering services now on Coffee. I've put a few things up there, but I have to add a lot more. I have an Etsy for readings, Serena Starlight, and I'm going to be offering products in the near future, like cleansing and protection sprays and other things. So anyway, yeah, go follow me and, keep track of what I'm up to and what I'm doing if you're interested in anything that I have to offer. So let's talk about freezer spells. Like I said, this is a video I've been meaning to make, but I just haven't had the right time, and I was like, okay, let me go ahead and talk about this before I forget. So freezer spells is for binding and banishing, depending on how you do it and your intention, but it usually holds something in place and or pushes it away from you. Now, something that you see that's really common on TikTok and is actually very dangerous because a lot of the new witches are doing it and, they're messing themselves up. So what do you see often? Well, you see witches doing hex freezer spells. Um, that can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So again, a freezer spell either holds something in place or it pushes it away from you. It could do both. It could do one or the other. It depends on your intention and how you do it. They are powerful. They do work, but you got to know what you're doing. And, it's not going to mess someone's life up. I mean, depending on how you do it, like a mirror freezer spell, that's pretty potent. You could do that for self-reflection. But you see a lot of people doing freezer hexes. Um, you got to be very careful with this. For one, you have to understand negative energy is very contagious. And I'm not just speaking out my butt. So I'm not just talking out my butt here. I have been studying the craft and energy work since basically 2012. So I know what I'm talking about. Negative energy is very contagious. It is like a virus. It is like a germ. It's like COVID, it's like the flu. If you are putting a nasty freezer spell in your freezer, you see a lot on TikTok, like people have all these nasty freezer spells in their freezer right next to their food, shaking it up and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, these people can't be for real. What are you doing? Negative energy, even in a jar, it's very contagious. I mean, imagine this jar as you holding a virus, essentially like a deadly virus. That's why some witches use gloves, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to cleanse yourself afterwards. But if you're putting, and now a normal freezer spell is fine. I mean, you could put a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of lemon juice to sour it up. But mind you, lemon and vinegar is for cleansing mostly. You can use it to sour something, but not to hex something. For hexing, you need to have like moldy lemons, not lemon juice. It will just neutralize your hex. So a normal freezer spell, that's okay to put next to your food, even if it's got a little bit of the sourness to it, because it's not going to hold much negativity at all. But if you're doing a freezer hex, which I don't even like freezer hexes because you're freezing the hex itself. It's not going to do anything. You're like banishing the hex away from the target essentially, and you're putting it in your fridge and getting that negativity all in your freezer, and getting all that negativity all in your freezer, all on your food, and then you're eating the food. Freezer hexes don't work in my opinion. They just don't work. Freezer spells do work, but I mean, I don't see the point in it because you're freezing the hex solid. You're freezing it, basically causing it to be stagnant, causing it not to work. That's where a freezer spell is. It freezes something in place, binds it in place, or it turns someone's feelings or their heart cold towards you. It makes them cold, makes them not want to be around you, etc. So a freezer hex, a freezer curse, they don't really work. But mostly I wanted to talk about the dangers of it. Now most experienced witches have a freezer just for their more nastier freezer hexes. Like I said, I don't really feel like they work. I just don't. But the ones who do freezer hexes, they keep a freezer just for their spell work. They don't put their food in it because it will contaminate your food. You're basically eating your freezer hex. Then they'll keep it like outside because you don't want anything negative inside your house. Again, it's contagious. If it's in your house, if it's in a freezer in your house, it's going to affect the whole household. So a lot of witches will put a freezer in the basement or, outside in a garage or something, and only use that for spell work. So I recommend that. Don't ever put anything that's meant to be negative in a freezer that you keep your food in. I see it all over TikTok. It's very common. And that's how I know when someone's a baby witch, when they're, you see those videos a lot of them opening up their freezer with their food next to their curse jar, their hex jar. And then they take it and they shake it up, trying to look all cool, whatever. I'm just like, you're just hexing yourself. I mean, you froze the hex, you froze the spell. Only thing you're doing is making them cold towards you or keeping them stagnant. You're not really doing much else besides contaminating your fridge, your freezer, and your food and your house. Remember, anything that's negative has to be kept far away from you and your house. Curse jars, hex jars, once you're done working it, you've got to get it away from your environment. Because negative energy is contagious, and it's going to affect the most vulnerable beings, like your pets, the elderly, young children, especially. So yeah, a normal freezer spell is fine to keep in your normal freezer, even if you add a little bit of sourness to it, but you don't want to make it too negative. If you're doing, if freezer hexes work for you, then you need to get a freezer just for that, and you need to, keep it out of your living environment. You need to put it like in a basement or outside somewhere, and it needs to, you need to put some protection around it, and on the freezer itself. Things could quickly go wrong for you. Things can quickly go bad for you if you don't know what you're doing. You know, I look at negativity as a very deadly, dangerous virus that I have to keep away and get rid of at all times. It's very contagious, and it can be very bad. Negative energy alone can ruin your whole life. Literally, it can do things you won't believe. You would not believe what negative energy could do to you. A lot of people think they're hexed or they're cursed, when really they're just dealing with negative energy. But yeah, guys, be careful dealing with freezer spells. Freezer spells do work. I don't really feel like freezer hexes or freezer curses work, in my opinion. Um, but if you do them, if they work for you, if you want to do them, don't put it in your house or next to your food. You know, find another way to freeze it. You know, get a little freezer and put it outside or something, and only use that for your spell work. So yeah, it's something I see a lot on TikTok. A lot of newbie witches are doing it, and they're messing themselves up. They're putting their freezer hexes right next to their food, and then they're eating their food. Like literally, you're contaminating your food, and then you're eating it. So yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah, just be careful. I'm trying to make this video the best I can without insulting anyone. But yeah, you gotta be careful what you see on the internet. There's a lot of newbie witches out there who are causing other witches to get hurt because they don't know what they're doing really.